Good evening and welcome to the Season 9 premiere of Give Me a Break. I'm Jonathan Carmody. Whenever you would go into a board meeting, not everybody at the school board understands one thing. Nobody at a board meeting would understand two words. Now, one person will understand common sense. Every parent would not only stand up for their child, but raise some common sense. And when it came down to what happened back in 2024, during the 2024-2025 school year, this parent, which you'll see tonight, he stood up for his daughter because her daughter did not want to see a little boy going into the boys' bathroom. And, that led to controversy. That led to, one father going up to that board saying, hey, because of the law, what you can do is start creating policies. Well, policies and procedures don't probably help. And as you'll see in this video, the father was very upset, not only at board members, but for them not creating policy. Take a look.
Brandon Matthews.
I'm scared.
Welcome, Mr. Matthews.
Hey, all right. I see cowards. First off, quit smiling. Why are you smiling?
Okay.
All I see, the one girl that went to the bathroom and went to the office to try to have something done about it, they said they couldn't do it because of Title IX, correct? Well, there is something you can do. You could create policy that goes out to the girls that says they can use the staff bathroom. One person on this board with a conversation told me that they can't turn away the girls from the staff bathroom. So why aren't you doing anything? My daughter, right here, sweetheart, tell these people, do you want a little boy to watch you pee?
No,
No, why?
because inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. My 8-year-old daughter knows it's inappropriate, and yet y'all sit there silent. One of you told me that your personal views don't align with the views you show to the public. You're cowards. That is not how you do it. That should show every parent in this county that you are not fit to sit on this board. Every one of you. Tell me you didn't say that this is not your job, that it should be left up to the ethics committee. I've heard you say, it's not my job. When it came to the books being in these schools, it is your job to look over who's in charge of catching those books. All you do is smile. Rob, I don't have a problem with you, but this has got to stop, because I'm going to tell you, y'all come up here and talk about vaping and the dangers of vaping. If a little boy follows my daughter in that bathroom and touches her, you will have a new radar of dangers. This is ridiculous. You're opening up opportunity for problems to happen. You either create a new bathroom for those who are confused, or you send them to the staff bathroom. It's a very simple problem. We don't change policy for tens of thousands of people to accommodate. There is no problem what people do on their personal level. That is not my business, nor your business, nor anybody's business. That is their choice. But I tell you what, I want to prove that you're all hypocrites, because each of you ladies, I want you to invite your husbands, and let's go to the bathroom, and I want them to watch me watch you use the bathroom, and let's see if they get mad. Let's prove to the public the hypocrites that sit on this board. Because I bet you'll get mad when I watch your wife, your husband will get mad when I watch you, your husband would feel the same as I would about my wife. Now stand up and do something. You're so scared of losing federal funding, it's ridiculous. Every single one of you is cowards. And we keep coming up here year after year with the same clique. There's one woman on this board that stands up for the people and the kids. That's a role model. Y'all should listen and pay attention. Is why she gets the votes. We won't put a single Laura Lindsay sign out, and she'll get the votes. Kenny Workman is the exact example of a man whose feelings are hurt because the right questions were asked. There, I called him out.
Thank you. board members, we'll move to 11.01 with committee reports. Are there any reports, board members? Okay. Okay.
Wow, of course they do not care. Did you see this? They just continue with their meeting with different items without even addressing the issue. What a shame, man. Anyway, boys' bathroom, girls' bathroom, and transgender bathroom. It's just that simple. That's my solution. But they won't do it. They won't do it. You know why? Because there is an agenda. And that's what I think. You let me know what you think about this in the comment section. God bless you and your family. God bless this father. We need more people like him. Catch you on the next one.
And this is why we need policies. Policies got to be changed. If you either don't confuse the child like whose bathroom it is. I wouldn't want a little girl watching my nephew go to the bathroom. I would not thought that happened either. But if that happened, you know, I'd be defending my nephew. I'd be defending my nephew like my brother would defend my son, like my wife defending my son. Jokingly. It's not a joke. It's very serious. Make policies and make it happen. The story that they want you to hear. It has been years since the horrible massacre at Columbine High. Next, we're going to hear from the family that survived Columbine but left one dead. It's the long journey back. Please stay with us. It was a horrible massacre 26 years ago that left a lot of people and teachers dead. If you remember Eric and Harris, both of them were responsible for the deaths of a lot of people at the massacre at Columbine High in Colorado. One of those dead was a person by the name of Rachel Scott. Rachel Joyce Scott. She was one of the people that died in that horrible massacre. And since then, her family has still been grieving and is still angry to this day. So, with this in mind, the year after the Columbine massacre, Dateline decided the family has allowed Dateline to follow them for more than a year, going through the long journey back. And tonight, it's a story that you'll definitely want to hear. Here's Sarah, as we start season 9. Here's Sarah James.
And I always notice that Tuesdays, Tuesdays are a real hard days for me.
For Beth Nimmo, Tuesday was the day the world changed.
So much of what we do is because of April the 20th, 1999.
The day one of her children was murdered, another barely escaped with his life. This is the story of a family shaken to its foundation and all the pain, anger, and financial stress they endured. It is also the story of their remarkable capacity to overcome through faith and each other. It all began on a day that seemed so normal, when Beth's children, Craig and Rachel Scott, drove to Columbine High School as usual. Then, at 11, in a scene we'll never forget, Columbine exploded. Then, at 11:19, in a scene we'll never forget, Columbine exploded. 16-year-old Craig was trapped inside the library.
I was so shocked and so much forever.
His friends bleeding, dying all around him.
I looked up and I saw my friend Matt, and he was smoking from the side.
This teenage boy says God told him to round up the others and flee through a back exit. He escaped, physically unscathed, only to learn that his sister had been the first to die, shot in the head, execution style. 1 week to the day after 17-year-old Rachel Scott attended her junior prom, more than 1,000 people attended her funeral.
Did you say goodbye to her?
I didn't get to say goodbye to her. Physically. In fact, I didn't even say anything when she dropped me off at school. that morning.
Yet even as this family mourns the loss of one child, they feared for the child who survived. How would he endure such unimaginable trauma? They were about to begin a long, lonely odyssey into the unknown. And from the start, this deeply spiritual family had a mission. In the ashes of so wanton and senseless a tragedy, to transform their grief into a force for good.
If we can reach young people through this tragedy, then what was very senseless can have some meaning.
And that, the family says, is the reason they agreed to allow Dateline unprecedented access to chronicle their lives for more than a year.
You want to say something to the camera real
The
quick?
reason they agreed to use a camera given them by Dateline
5:30.
to keep a video journal of their odyssey.
This is part of our home, green living room. And that picture right there is the last picture of Richard Westphal.
Rachel was smack in the middle of 5 children. There's Bethany, the protective eldest, and Dana, quiet and shy, and Rachel's 2 brothers, the youngest, Michael, and Craig, just a year her junior. Old home movies reveal a close family.
Rachel?
When the parents divorced 11 years ago, the children stayed with their mom.
Little zero in on Craig.
And Rachel, the middle child, seemed born for center stage. I'm standing here with Tim Anderson. The family says Rachel always hoped one day she'd be famous. And with her signature hat, easy smile, and dramatic flair, it all seemed possible. She hungered for adventure, choosing a very Rachel way to celebrate Sweet 16. But her family says she was so much more. That the girl who dreamed of being an actress also wanted to be a missionary. Her father, Daryl Scott, says she possessed an uncommon tenderness.
She really took the time to be with people that other people would tend to pass by or overlook or even ignore.
There's nothing about Rachel I really want to change. Her faults, her giftings, her talents, her personality, it all just rounded her out to be just a beautiful little soul. It's a privilege to be Rachel's mother.
We first begin taping with the family just 2 weeks after the massacre. They seem to be in a state of shock. Psychologists say the first stage of grief. And Craig's father already worries about what his son will face when the shock wears off.
Craig has got a very serious side to him. He's so hard on himself.
Craig's parents say he's a boy who needs order and control. An early-to-bed, early-to-rise kid who writes goals and lists. He's such a perfectionist that he uses a cardboard template to refold his clothes.
Craig wants to know how everything's going to line up, how everything's going to work out.
And psychologists say that puts Craig at an even greater risk in the months to come. They say research shows that those who thrive on order and control actually have a more difficult time after experiencing trauma, that they're apt to fall farther and rebound less quickly. Craig's parents worry their son could succumb to what's known as survivor's guilt, guilt that he lived when so many, including his sister, died that day.
He said, my biggest fear was that Rachel experienced that sense of terror. He was like, I hope my sister didn't have to go through that.
But 3 weeks after the shooting, this meticulous boy seems to be doing remarkably well, and he's counting on his family and God to see him through.
He said, Mom, he said, don't worry about me. He said, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do okay.
And in spite of all he's suffered, Craig is determined not to let anger overwhelm him.
Is there a temptation to hate them?
I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to hate. And eventually I might forgive.
But as we would learn, forgiveness would prove elusive, and his faith would be tested in ways he couldn't imagine.
And no one would ever imagine what would happen when the journey began. When we come back, the journey begins for Craig and the rest of the Scott family as they continue to remember his sister and their daughter. Please stay with us. Returning to our story, Craig Scott survived the horrific shooting at Columbine High, later to find out that his sister, Rachel Scott, was murdered. He's trying to grieve, but how long will it take for him to grieve and to get through the shock? It's a long journey back to Columbine. Once again, here's Sarah James.
It is summer in the Colorado Rockies, several months after the shooting, and the reality of life without Rachel is slowly sinking in. It's a time when, as we would soon learn, shock can give way to a flood of raw emotion. But as the summer begins, Craig shows signs of moving forward, says stepfather Larry Nimmo.
Everything's in order. You know, the books are laid out, all the pens and pencils are right here. I mean, that's just his way. And I'm seeing that again.
Moving forward means taking small steps, like going to the prom.
This is Craig Scott, the real Craig Scott.
And large ones, like going to the White House, where Craig tells the president about his sister. The president signs his yearbook.
Can you read this, Dad?
Can't read the president's writing.
And at an all-star game honoring Rachel and the other Columbine victims, Craig gets a crack at every boy's dream.
Last night was probably the best night of my life ever. It was great because I had the most fun.
Fun moment, steps forward, but as is typical in cases of people who've experienced extreme trauma, such moments often give way to terrifying flashbacks. One sound in particular haunts him, the breathing of his friends as they lay dying.
And I was laying there next to him. And I couldn't get it out of my mind.
But Craig says he finds strength from the same source he always has, God. He says God not only saved his life in the library, but helps him by erasing those flashbacks.
Every time I pray, if it's 10 seconds, it stops.
The images stop.
The sounds, too. The sounds were awful. Were terrible.
Confident in their faith, but recognizing the importance of counseling, Craig's mom starts taking him to therapy.
As the counselors say that for a child such as Craig, who is such a perfectionist, for whom order and control are obviously important, that dealing with something as random as this is even more difficult. Well, it really does, because you see, he had no control that day. It goes against everything of his own personality and temperament.
And according to experts, people with such anxiety will go to any length to create order amidst chaos, will try to exert some control by almost obsessively seeking information. Craig tells us he needs to know about his sister's final moments.
You want to know everything that she last did, what she last ate, what she last said, what she last thought.
As you'll see later, there was one person with those answers which would prove pivotal to Craig and his family. While Craig endured the most that April day, his brother and sister, though quietly suffering, each in his own way.
We're all at different levels in the grieving process.
Dana, always painfully shy, has quit her job and is worried she won't be able to do anything to make up for the loss of her sister. Youngest brother Michael, a boy who's always kept his feelings bottled up, won't talk about what happened to his sister and spends hours alone at Rachel's car, still parked at the school and now an unofficial shrine. Meantime, the eldest, Bethany, a newlywed who lives just minutes away, alternates between despair and fury and fears her anger may never go away.
I want to be able to think about Rachel and not think about another. But to think about my little sister and my relationship with her, and to be able to celebrate those things in my mind.
But she says right now, she's not ready to begin counseling. Her sanctuary, Rachel's room. She's written the sign declaring it off limits to anyone but family.
I feel guilty and kind of move on. Like, when I start getting back into this routine, then I'm letting go of him. And I don't want to.
With her family so fragile, Steph is determined to put her grief on hold, hide her tears from her children.
My biggest goal is to steal my children. Do well to make it.
You're putting them first.
I definitely am putting them first. It's an act of my will.
Following the counselor's advice and her instincts, Beth takes leave from her job as an office administrator to stay home with her boys around the clock.
Frank, definitely need to talk to you.
That creates yet another problem for this formerly two-income household.
Are you dipping into savings? Well, we never ever had savings.
And while she's too proud to talk specifics, the bills are piling up.
You've got a mortgage payment, you've got your phone bills, you've got your public service. It's just one thing after another. How much would you say you've accumulated in debt since Rachel's death? Oh my goodness. I have no idea. $1,000? Oh, much more than that.
Beth did receive $25,000 through the United Way Fund, but is saving that for unforeseen needs later on. Several months after the massacre, the family is $7,000 in debt. For now, Beth works some from home. Counseling is covered by a victim's assistance program, as is 70% of her salary. But that money runs out in just a few months. And after that,
I really honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I really honestly don't know.
as the weeks of summer pass, the numbness is wearing off, the pain intensifying. Like so many who have lost loved ones, this family pours through all Rachel has left behind, and in late June makes a startling discovery. Tucked into the backpack Rachel wore that April morning, scarred by a bullet that claimed her life, is this private diary. And what's written inside this journal and others she kept would leave them stunned. 11 months before her death, Rachel wrote,
"This will be my last year, Lord. I have gotten what I can. Thank you."
Entries from a girl her family believes foretold her own murder.
All I want is for someone to walk with me through these halls of a tragedy. That is, to me, as prophetic as you can get. And she was referring to her school.
And then this unsettling entry about a cold, unjust world.
"I'm dying. Quickly my soul leaves. Slowly my body withers. It isn't suicide. I consider it homicide. The world you have created for me has led to my death."
2 weeks later, Rachel was murdered. Her family finds comfort in their belief that these entries aren't teenage poetic license, but divinely inspired prophecy, and believes God will use Rachel's death as a force for good. As for Craig, the journals have an even greater impact. Experts say it's typical for people who thrive on order to focus on a mission, pursue it with fervor during a crisis to compensate for lack of control. Craig's mission, to spread his sister's message, and despite his mother's concerns, he and his father begin a whirlwind off-country speaking tour.
I sure am glad I listened to God up there in home. My faith is totally secure.
Suddenly, a boy who's never spoken to a group larger than his English class addresses some crowds of 14,000. Awesome, but draining. He sometimes speaks in 5 cities in 1 week.
Went to the school library.
He sometimes recounts his trauma in the library 3 times in a day.
Everything wanted to come back to the library.
By summer's end, what Craig's father hopes will help his son seems to exhaust him. That's Craig, on the floor, utterly spent.
My son needs a rest. I don't have any intention of losing 2 children in this tragedy.
Beth says Craig has had no time to confront his grief. And now, the boy who seemed to be getting back on track is faltering.
I thought it couldn't get any worse, but it is.
Worse, because the boy who thrives on order and control is beginning to discover just how uncontrollable grief can be.
I kind of even feel like I've been going kind of crazy.
In what way?
Either I'm extremely positive or I'm the total opposite. I just don't care about things. And sometimes I won't even answer people's questions. I'll just look at them.
Only a few minutes later, we would see just what Craig meant.
Do you try to make ways to be a family, be a friend?
No response. Almost a minute passes before Craig attempts to answer.
What?
Experts say it's common for people who've been traumatized to become lost in their own world, have trouble concentrating. In fact, Craig tells us sometimes he can't remember what day it is, or even what year. And now the early-to-bed boy.
Oh, now I'm usually going to bed around 4:30.
In the morning you go to bed?
Usually late at night is when I kind of get, like, I really don't feel like myself. Like, I'm acting kind of weird, or just all of a sudden I'll walk around in the streets or something.
Using the video camera, Craig shows us how he often wanders from late at night to dawn, a time when he feels free to be himself.
Want to take a walk around the neighborhood?
Because there's no one else around.
Nobody's up at this time in the morning. That's what I love about it. It's just like you own the world.
Wandering the streets alone, he says he gets jittery,
Here we go, let me see.
wired even.
Oh, wait, I gotta show you the sun.
And as the sun-filled days of summer grow shorter, Craig's return to school approaches. He knows Columbine starts in just a few days. He doesn't know if he can face what awaits him.
I'll tell you our story. The summer is almost over.
He knows Columbine starts in just a few days. He doesn't know if he can face what awaits him.
But what will await him for the few days at Columbine? Still ahead, more from Craig Scott, more from the video camera, and more from the family. Returning to our story, the kids are back in school, but for Craig and his younger brother, Craig Scott and his younger brother, just a few days left until they go back to Columbine High. But is it going to be a normal year? That's what their mother's wishing for Craig and his younger brother. But is that going to happen, or are there going to be different changes? Once again, here's Sarah James.
It's early morning, mid-August. 4 months after the massacre, Craig Scott still struggles to find order amidst emotional chaos. But at 5:45 this morning, Craig invites us into his home and to get ready for the first full day back at Columbine since the shooting. But he wonders, is he ready?
Yeah, I'm kind of a little nervous for going back to school right now, but
What are you doing?
that kind of sickness.
As Craig and Michael head out the door,
You got your old ID clean? Yeah.
Mother Bear Beth stays close by.
Mike doesn't have a schedule. Do you have yours?
Harder still, for she knows her boys will walk past the library and the spot where Rachel was killed, something Craig has been dreading.
We have to cross that path. And even today I had to walk by that area. Just knowing that her little body was there, you know. Just don't know how they're gonna do it.
We have overcome! Welcome home, brother!
Back at Columbine, the rah-rah message to move forward is loud and clear. But it's one Craig has trouble accepting. 8 hours later, he returns home.
It was really discouraging.
Discouraging, almost overwhelming, to see so many others embracing a new beginning.
I can't believe that some of them just wanted to go back to normal. Same old thing. It's not right for them to do that, I don't think.
A common feeling, say experts. For Craig, moving on is not so easy when every image is filled with grief. As for visiting the place where Rachel was gunned down,
I kind of broke down there. I can't watch kids just walk over there. It's too hard for me.
In fact, that first day of school turned out to be his last.
He's like he's lost. He doesn't know where, how to get that control back.
Beth says the boy who once thrived on order must feel he's regaining control on his own. So she must stand back as he wanders alone at night, endures those terrifying flashbacks, and is the boy who once completed every chore on his list, like cleaning his room, now struggles to write the list.
For Craig, writing out goals for a day and then not being able to even accomplish the most simple thing on that list, those are very high frustration points for him.
What do you say to him when he feels like that?
I just try to love him.
Tries both to love and protect him. Beth's priority: make sure Craig has the time to heal for as many days, weeks, or months as it takes. She wants him sheltered here in the privacy of their home, and that means no more plane trips, no more speeches, and no pressure to return to school.
Then what's the Y clinic going to be?
Twice a week, a tutor teaches him at home. Twice a week, he makes visits to his counselor. Experts say his flashbacks are an early warning sign of possible post-traumatic stress disorder, like combat veterans sometimes suffer. And there are other risks. They say while kids like Craig need information, not everything they learn is helpful. Craig's haunted to discover just where his sister was killed, to learn he actually heard the shot that killed her.
I mean, Rachel was just 15, 20 feet away from me. I mean, when I was hearing those shots, I thought it was a joke.
Learning that his sister was killed just outside the library, a few steps away, feeling he was so close he could have saved her, Craig falls prey to what's known as survivor's guilt.
He would have fought for Rachel. He couldn't help the one person at the school that was the dearest to him. And Rachel was gone.
And as is so common with grief, Craig can't help but replay his final moments with his sister.
The last thing that we did was argue and fight about being late to school, and I remember coming in the morning and slamming the door and not saying anything to her and just leaving. And that was the last time I saw her.
Who was late?
I can't remember.
Does it look strange to be back? 1 month after Craig's first and last day back to school, he takes one more trip to Columbine.
She was right over here.
Back to the spot where Rachel died, to lay flowers and to apologize for not being able to save her.
Yes, we got me. Listen,
Suddenly, the boy who only months before spoke of forgiveness is overwhelmed by an emotion we've never seen.
I get angry and I mean, even when a kid would walk by, I would get really angry at him just for walking by. It wasn't even his fault, but I just, I still have a lot of anger.
Anger that she's gone. Anger at gunman Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. Anger that, as Craig discovers visiting websites, some even seem sympathetic toward them.
They were all saying, rest in peace, Eric and Dylan. And they wouldn't even say anything. We might be able to call my victim, so it was like, Eric and Dylan.
As frightening as it can be, psychologists say feeling anger, even rage, is essential to heal, which may explain why this ordinarily sweet-natured boy for the first time had a fist fight with his younger brother, and even tried drinking a few times to numb his anger and pain.
In our first interview, when we asked you about anger, you said, I won't go there. There's no point but to forget.
Yeah, well, you know, I didn't know a lot what I was going to be going through. I had no idea. There was no room right then for hate.
But hate seems very real now. And there's something else Craig could never have predicted, that he would come to doubt the faith he's always relied on, that has sustained him through this ordeal.
I haven't been sure that the God that I believed in my whole life was real. And I just started asking myself, why do I believe in God?
How will a boy who told us God saved his life, erased his flashbacks, cope now that his faith is crumbling?
Returning to our story, his faith seems to have sustained him in the long
God saved his life, erased his flashbacks, cope now that his faith is crumbling.
But will the faith ever come back to him? Coming up, more from Craig Scott as he continues the long journey back through anger, tears, and more grief than ever. Stay with us. Returning to our story, what would you do if you were in Craig Scott's shoes? Vengeance, anger, or try to get through the loss of one of your loved ones? Well, he had to rely on his faith. But will that faith help him get over his sister? Once again, Sarah James.
It's been almost 6 months since this family lost Rachel. 6 months since Craig Scott says God saved his life in the library. Today, he's a boy wrestling with his faith, struggling with his anger. Nighttime, he says, is still his worst enemy. We get a glimpse of just how desperate those nighttime hours really are when Craig uses the camera we gave him to chronicle one long night.
Up here, on the top of my roof, of my house. It is 5:30 in the morning.
It looks eerily like the Blair Witch Project. But this is no movie. These terrors all too real. So real, Craig is armed.
I brought a knife, just in case. It's dark still. Got a knife for protection.
He has the knife, not to hurt others or himself, he tells us later, but to protect his family should anyone try to harm them. Craig huddles on the roof for 45 minutes, then heads back inside the house. Craig tries to wake younger brother Michael, who is suffering from migraines and has also dropped out of school.
What are you doing all this morning? Why are you sleeping? It's only 6:16 in the morning.
There are moments when it seems Craig can't bear to be by himself.
You want to go to bed? What? Mikey, don't go to bed on me. Mike, where you going? Mike?
If hearing a noise, Michael leaves to go sleep in another room. Alone again, Craig seems desperate to keep himself busy. Singing. Watching TV. Anything, he says, to get through the night.
Well, I bet you thought it was over, didn't ya? It's not. Wanna see outside? I made it through the night, baby.
Battling the terror within himself, Craig has survived another night.
That's right. I'm weird. I really am. I'm not even thinking, like, what am I doing out here in the middle of the night? It's cold, and what am I doing? I don't think that.
When you get like that and you feel out there, what brings you back?
I don't know if I'm really ever am back. I'm a lot different than I was before Columbine.
And so is his sister Bethany. Half a year after the death of her sister, the eldest says her moods remain unpredictable, as is common after such a loss. So is the fact that she's lost 20 pounds. She decides to start counseling, but she still isn't ready to let anyone but family inside Rachel's room. It's been 6 months since the tragedy, and Beth's situation has gone from bad to worse. Both her sons have dropped out of school, her financial assistance has run out, and she has no idea when she can return to work. But Beth says she's determined to remain rock steady for her children. How do you deal with your grief? You spend a lot of time monitoring everyone else's progress.
I haven't done a lot yet. At a personal level, I think that once I really start letting those feelings come out, it's gonna be pretty overwhelming.
But what Beth didn't know then was how soon events would force her to confront what she's been suppressing all these months. First, just a few days after the 6-month anniversary of the massacre, this news.
Another tragedy for one of the victims of the Columbine shootings.
The mother of one of the shooting victims walked into this pawn shop, loaded a gun, and shot herself in the head. Beth says the suicide shows how extraordinarily difficult it is to resume life as normal. Suddenly, a woman who's been so steady is angry. People, she says, expect too much.
I raised a daughter for 17 years. She was pulled out of my life in a matter of minutes. She would say, okay, Beth, why don't you plan to be back at work, in a couple of weeks?
Anger which only grows when, almost immediately, there's another blow. This controversial issue of Time magazine, with Harris and Klebold on the cover, contains excerpts from the killer's until then unseen home videotape. The family is outraged, saying they've been told relatives would be the first to see the tape, and that they were never informed they contained information like this. The family is certain that Rachel is their Rachel, and now believes she was targeted by the gunman because of her faith. For Beth, it's simply too much to bear.
I found myself weeping uncontrollably. It hurt me. It hurt me so bad.
The woman who has been rock solid for 8 months is shattered. But is finally confronting her grief really what's best for her family now?
So what would be best for the Scott family? The conclusion to Sarah James' story and the conclusion to The Long Way Home when we come back. Stay with us. Now the conclusion to our story. Craig and his family are about to find the answers to what happened. When Dylan and Eric killed their sister Rachel. Remember, he was still haunted to this day until Dateline gave him that camera. As we've seen, he's been trying to tough it out, going through tough experiences. But the question is, will they finally get the answers to the questions they've asked about their sister? You're about to get a front row seat as they try to get that answer. Here with the conclusion of our story, Sarah James.
It has been a bleak winter. A winter when this family has found it hard to believe any good could come from so much evil. A time of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Then, in late winter, Craig's at his dad's house when there's an unexpected phone call.
I'm sorry I haven't called you sooner.
On the line, the mother of the boy shot beside Rachel that April day, calling to tell them about Rachel's last moments. She says her son says the killers taunted Rachel about her faith.
They were yelling at her and about God, and do you believe in God? That was literally the last minute of her life.
All along, Craig has told us he needed the tale. Painful as it is to hear, learning about his sister's last moments gives this boy a sense of finality and seems to help him regain some control.
How important was it for you to get?
That was really important, yeah.
Sense of finality and seems to help him regain some control.
How important was it for you to get that information?
That was really important, yeah. Because your mind is wondering what happened.
and that information strengthens the family's commitment to their mission. Rachel's dad has started an organization to help victims of other tragedies. He's back on the road, speaking virtually full-time.
I wouldn't have chosen these circumstances.
And is his daughter Dana, once shy, now confident. And back at home, the eldest helps run the organization.
Columbine Redemption, this is Bethany.
A year after she posted the sign on this door, Bethany asked us to come look at Rachel's room.
For so long, I know it was important to you not to have anybody here. But you've changed your mind. Why? This is where so many of our memories are at, and, you know, I think it gives people closure to be able to come in here.
So many reminders of Rachel, it seems she was here just yesterday.
And Sunday.
As for the youngest in the family, Michael now feels ready to tell us about his loss.
The hardest time was when we went to see Rachel. We contrasted. She was my mom's sister, not my own.
And what about Beth? Those weeks just before Christmas were dark, desperate.
You really kind of had an emotional breakdown then, didn't you? I just had to go through a season where I just was able to cry.
But it is the briefest season of sorrow, and she emerges with renewed determination to find in this tragedy some force for good.
Compassion is the greatest form.
She's also hitting the speaking circuit, and has even written a book with Rachel's dad based on their daughter's journal.
It's so inspirational.
And while she's followed experts' advice and avoided dramatic change during the first year, she's now ready to move the family to another neighborhood, in spite of her financial worries.
Leaving the home where Rachel spent her last 10 years actually really did hit me hard. But it is the right thing. It's the next step for us to do.
While all these are encouraging signs, there is no fairy tale ending, especially not for Craig. By spring, bad days still outnumber good ones, as he continues to wrestle with anger, survivor's guilt, and flashbacks. But the phone call about Rachel's final moments helped, as has intensive counseling. And now, after nearly a year, the boy who thrives on order and control shows signs of being more like himself. He's sleeping better, some mornings even up by 9. He's working out and spending time with friends again. But perhaps the strongest sign that his life is getting back to normal.
Providers called Goals, God, Counseling, Columbine.
Craig is once again getting organized, setting up a binder, writing lists, outlining goals. But what about his spiritual doubts? Well, in his meticulous way, Craig is seeking answers and finding them.
Here's some things that I wrote about God's love.
Even writing down the reasons he believes God exists. Often, even those who are deeply devout question God after so searing a tragedy, but they can emerge with a deeper faith, as seems to be the case with Craig.
Do you feel like you've weathered the spiritual crisis and returned to your faith in God?
I'm open to there not being a God, but I've been able to do a lot of deep thinking, and deep down I believe in Him. I would die for that belief. I would die.
And in fact, what turns out to be one of the most important steps in Craig's healing is a day he has dreaded all year. April 20th, the 1-year anniversary of Columbine. A year ago, 2 boys turned this peaceful place into a killing zone and said they hoped the massacre would ignite a chain reaction of violence. After months of his own battle with anger, even hate, on this day, Craig responds to that challenge with a different message.
I just want to say this one thing to my generation, to start a chain reaction just by simple things, just by treating other kids with respect and treating other
By
kids.
speaking out, Craig tells us, he moves closer to regaining some of what he lost a year ago today. 4 seasons have come and gone, and with them, the pain has lessened some. As they have this year, this family will rely on faith and most of all each other in the weeks, months, and years to come. Theirs is a future without Rachel, but a future that beckons nonetheless.
Your family has already gotten through a lot. Yes. But you'll make it through this. Absolutely. We will absolutely make it through this. This will not destroy us. We will make it. We will make it.
15 months after Rachel Scott died in the shootings at Columbine High School, her family says it helped for them to share their feelings in the interviews you just saw. As for Craig, he says he's planning to return to Columbine in August when classes resume. Finally, the book written by Rachel's parents is called Rachel's Tears. You can find out more about that and about Rachel herself by visiting our website. The address.
Well, justicedaylight.msnbc.com. Well, after listening to this story and remembering all the victims that were burned this time, I can tell you that Stone Phillips, that the announcer and Stone Phillips is right. It is a story that they want you to hear. And you heard the story. If you were there in Columbine, if you were one of the victims at Columbine, one of the survivors, it was a story that they wanted you to hear. And if you were in their shoe, the family's shoes, you would have went through it. The family went through thick and thin just to get over, just to help get over the grief of their daughter. But their daughter and his sister and their sister is with God and in their hearts. It's faith that gets us through thick and thin. And it's the moments we spend time with our friends that we want to talk about what bothers us. That's why, when you go visit your friends, you want to get something off your chest. That's why, for me, it took music to improve my social skills. That's what it takes you. It gives you faith. You have your faith, you have your friends and family to talk to whenever you're feeling down. You don't even need a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist just to help talk about, or even a news reporter just to help express your feelings. You have to have faith, family, and friends. The 3 F's. Faith, family, and friends. If you rely on those 3, you can get over the loss of your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, whoever, a long lost friend. If you remember those 3 F's, you can be that point of light to help others get through pain. You can even write a song to help you out, to help you get over what happened. I mean, for me, it took a day for me to write the Hurricane Harvey song, and every time I play it, I always remember the victim, the people who lost their homes during Harvey. But hey, that's a whole nother story. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Take a look at what I'm wearing. Just a clean shirt with a tie and a sports coat. This is how I would dress when I go to court. In tonight's Bible break, the videos you're about to see are from people who want to come in shorts and act like they're going to a disco club. Some of those are even on those Zoom calls. I tell you, when I watched this last one, it made me laugh. Go put some clothes on. Take a look.
You can't come to court like that no more.
Did you think you were coming to the club today?
No, sir.
This is a courthouse.
Yes, sir.
Come see a disco ball, man. For real.
I just got off
Don't
work.
come like this again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh. It's your problem. Put some clothes on before you come back in here.
What I mean by that is, if what you were looking to do was talk to someone about your case, maybe sort of get a better deal or some sort of offer, you can plead not guilty today. That does mean, ma'am, are you in a bathrobe? With no clothes underneath, scratching your boob? That's not appropriate for court.
No.
Okay, We're gonna put you back in the waiting room. Don't try again.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Do you understand the maximum possible penalty for these offenses are 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have an absolute right to a trial?
Yes, sir.
You need to put your drink down, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're sitting here taking this plea on the record. You want me to pass it, let you get yourself together, you can go take your robe off and get yourself straightened up and then have your breakfast and all that?
No. I'm ready.
This is not the time for that. If you need, I can provide you a lawyer today, but this isn't where you just get to start asking questions. It's number one. Number two, this is a court. When you come to court, please dress your person, okay? So I'll have you go fill out an application with Miranda. I'm gonna have you sign a receipt for you. I'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions, and then we'll have you speak to the lawyer in the interim. Please.
No, not that.
Bitch!
Who's that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's your problem? Take your hat off and stop driving. I'm gonna put you out. Don't drop the fucking phone.
I'm so sorry.
All right, Mr. Portman, I'm putting you out. You gotta come in person because first of all, you're up here with the foul language on Zoom. You're up here smoking. You're smoking in the courtroom, and I'm just about had it up with you already.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. I'm sitting there waiting for you.
All kind of problems. Take the hat off, sir, please.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. I had a bad morning.
I'm not your man either, all right?
When you come to court, you come dressed appropriately, not in half shirts, dude. You're not going to a club.
I'm sorry, I don't have to disclose. I understand.
Let's go back on the record, Mr. Lozada. Mr. Lozada, state your name for the record, please.
Lozada, hello.
Shirt on.
Hi,
Sí, señor Lozada.
dígame.
He doesn't have a shirt.
Usted no trae camisa puesta, usted está en una sala de...
Un momento.
I'm putting you out. Bye.
Mr. Solis Diaz, you need to take your hat off. We are in court.
Please, next time, don't come in shorts.
Sir.
You've had enough cases. You're now working 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is your 10th case. You know, when you come to court, you don't come in shorts.
So,
am I right? It's a complete sign of disrespect, Mr. Woodall.
They should see the front.
Is it me, officer, or judge?
Do you have a shirt on, sir?
I can pull it up.
Listen, don't do that. I don't understand why you can't. You coming in here without a shirt.
Now I had my robe on. I was in the bathroom. I wasn't
I don't
anticipating.
need to know all that either. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. Go get yourself together.
Mr. Jacobs, I do need you to take your hat off, though. We are in court.
Oh, sorry, sir. Perception is reality. When you look like a thug, people will treat you like a thug. If you speak like a thug, they will treat you like a thug. This is a court, and we expect you to act in a certain way. You don't come in shorts. Please don't do it again. It's a complete sign of disrespect. If it happens again, I'm gonna put you out. You understand?
Sir. Hold the line. We haven't paid the other 240 on the no loss.
Yeah, I was gonna see if I can get a little bit more time, Judge.
Have you clothes, sir?
Huh?
You have a shirt on? I'm putting you out. Let's go. Put them at the end of the line.
How you doing, sir?
This is not your first rodeo in the courthouse.
It's been a while since I've been in there, so. Well,
Don't wear shorts again, otherwise I will put you out.
Yes, sir. I
Understand?
apologize. Yes, sir.
It's a complete sign of disrespect. There's a certain dress code that we have here.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Here you go. I got a thing on my computer.
Do you have some clothes on, sir?
Yes.
You have a shirt on?
Yes. I'm not. I'm just close in the camera.
I don't believe you.
I don't, like, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah, let me see if you're telling me the truth or not.
I'm like, right here.
Do you have a shirt on, I asked?
It's a short, it's not a, I'll put a different shirt on.
Well, you're lying to me, sir. Fine. It looks like I saw 9 a.m.
I had 1 o'clock on one of those papers.
You just showed me a paper, Miss Outerbridge. That
Yes, I
said
did. Right.
Miss Outerbridge.
So when I called.
No, we can't talk at the same time.
Well, I apologize for my but you. Excuse me.
Stop. Miss Outerbridge,
You asked me a question. I'm just trying to answer it.
I know. Whatever you're trying to prepare down.
I'm trying to see my daughter.
Get your coat. You gotta put your properly dressed on. I
am properly dressed. I have on a t-shirt. I am properly dressed.
Is that a robe? Is that a robe?
It's the problem, sir. I'm just not even doing this to you. Ask me a question. I'm answering. My daughter is sick. I had to keep her home from school. I'm just trying to feed her. That is it.
Terrible, but you're in court.
Miss Outerbridge, I'm sorry that your daughter is sick. But again, you're in court, okay? And we're gonna treat it as such. I asked you.
Okay, I'm properly dressed.
No, don't talk while you talk.
I have on clothes. I have on clothes. I have on clothes.
Fine, Miss Outerbridge.
I have on clothes. What?
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Put your hand down. Take your hat and the hood off, sir.
I can't right now, sir. Sir, I'm at work. I can't right now. That's something I can't do. I'm sorry.
No. You're gonna take your hat and your hood off. I don't care.
I said I have something going on, sir. I can't right now.
Pass the matter until you can. All right. How about that? Who's on the Motorola Moto G? Good morning to you. I just let him in the room.
Good morning.
Do you have some clothes on, sir? Are you out of your mind?
No, I'm sorry.
Nah, go put some clothes on.
All right.
I'm gonna put you out until you get dressed.
I was looking.
I don't want to hear it. I swear you see it all.
Hello.
You see it all the time on Zoom, but this is how you're supposed to properly dress. A clean shirt, tie, suit, pants. The shirt, it's like this. The shirt has to be tucked in. You're wearing pants. It's not that hard just to simply wear a shirt and tie. You need to take court seriously. You come in shorts or a t-shirt or a half dress, you're showing signs of disrespect, and that's not setting a good example. And that is not setting a good example for people in the courtroom. When you go to court, you are properly dressed in a clean shirt and tie. That's it. All these other people we saw just set some bad examples. Don't be like these people. Don't be like these people and just simply come in a clean shirt and tie and a suit. That's all. Take court seriously. Don't come in flip-flops, shorts, whatever. Clean shirt, tie, and a suit. That's it. I can't afford a $200 suit. Well, go to fucking Goodwill. They sell jackets like this for like over $10. You'll look good. You'll look good for homecoming. Take court seriously. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Monday going to Tuesday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Wednesday. For all of us here, you, man, give me a break. Stop bullying, speak up. Concentration, not strength. No jaywalking. Take care of yourself and each other. Now and always, we're here for you. And autism is not a disability, it's your superpower. Good night.